The article that I read discusses the difference between the first language and the second language acquisition. As we know, second language acquisition is different from learning a foreign language. It occurs in an environment where you have easy access to native speakers of that language, which is usually the country where the language is spoken. For example, our Spanish speakers learning English would be a second language acquisition. On the other hand, foreign language acquisition of non-native language occurs in the environment of one's native language. The article also mentions how important it is to understand the difference between first and second language in order to understand the second language acquisition. The first language is learned without instruction when we're little. The second language is usually learned in a more constricted environment, like the classroom. The article lists 5 primary linguistic elements: phonology, syntax, morphology, semantics, and pragmatics that we read about in Finnegan in the past 2 chapters. The part that I enjoyed the most and that applies the most to this week's reading were the 3 models of second language acquisition. One of them is the universal grammar model, which refers to the system of principles and rules that are elements of all human languages. Therefore, second language learners base their second language acquisition on universal principles common to all languages. Finnegan calls these language universals as statements of how it's possible and impossible in languages. I like Finnegan's explanation of language universals. The first one that he provided was the hypothesis that languages derive historically from the same language, which is not supported because we know that languages developed at about the same time. A better hypothesis explains the language universals in terms of symptoms of how humans see the world. After reading the article in this week's reading, I'm even more convinced of the benefit and importance of having a strong foundation in your native language before learning a second language. I will use the acquired knowledge in my classroom by trying to bring my ELL students' native language into my teaching as much as possible and show them how important their native language is for learning English.